Say hey and welcome into Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me, a legend of ours, the Big Ragu. Big Ragu, how are you doing over there?
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here, brother. I'm doing good. Fresh off a Vegas trip. Not the red eye, but with the delays and everything, I'm hanging in there. I'm doing good, brother. It's good to be with you. Hey, one thing I did, I remember the last two times I was on the show with you, right? Had to bring something special for you today, my man. There it is, brother. You keep
Yes,
asking about
let's
it.
go.
Yeah.
Let's
The
go.
NFL Pub Hub 2021 champion, 2022 champ. Big Ragu, baby. All love to you guys, man. I had to bring that out, man. I shined it up real nice for you today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It looks lovely. $1 million belt right there, of course. Big Ragu, the champion of our Pub Hub NFL Pub Hub show this year. It was a great time, a good time giving you the belt, Ragu, and it's nice to be joined by you as well. Let's not
Absolutely.
waste too much time
No,
and
let's not.
let's get right into Say Hey Plays 20. The Big 20, a big show for Say Hey Plays. We'll recap what I had yesterday real quick, and we'll go across the season record and along with a little preview of the 4-6 plays I've got on the card today so far. Looking to probably add some more. I always end up around 7, so won't be surprised if I get around there again. Right now on the season, I am 75 and 59, up 22.81 units. A successful season so far, obviously. Yesterday, bouncing back after a shit day, a 5-2 day with Jimmy the Bag, plus 3.73 units. Successful. We got in and we got out. We had some heartbreaks along the way. We lost an under that Noli told me about in the ninth inning with some Mets craziness. However, I'm not going to sweat it. We've had a good season so far, and we're trying to keep the vibes going. Ragu, what about you? How's your baseball season come along so far?
Well, normally how I approach baseball, I'm off to a kind of a middle pack start. I don't have my official numbers, but I know in my brain I'm right around 50% because I've had some up and down days, small plays like 3 plays, 4 plays max on a day here and there. Not every day either. So I'm probably like around the 50 percentile mark. But I will next time I'm on the show, I'll have an official updated playlist. And I know Jimmy, with Jimmy tomorrow night. I know he's keeping track. We'll keep track on your show, and then I'll combine them all. And next time I'm on, I'll have an official total for you.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciated that. We're going to get right into this game here. I'm excited to cap this card with you. Jimmy mentioned earlier today is a pretty tricky card for him. And it is a pretty tricky card, but I think it's actually one that I like. Some
Yeah.
pitchers that I like to bet on. And we're going to see how that goes. To start off this card, a play that I talked about earlier this morning. I'm on the Brewers run line here, -1.5. Mitch Keller is someone that I'm looking to fade this year, in particular when he's at home at Pittsburgh. Apparently, he's got a 6.4 ERA there and 97 innings pitched. Just something that I will look to take advantage of, especially with Brandon Woodruff on the other side. Obviously, last time out for Woodruff against the Pirates, 6 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 9 Ks, 2 walks, a dominant outing. Keller pretty good himself at Milwaukee, 5 1/3, 4 hit, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, no walks, that 1 earned run off a home run. So both pretty impressive starts for these guys. But I ultimately think the Brewers will get to him on the second time seeing him. We've seen a lot of pitchers still having success, even though the batters have seen him. Nathan Eovaldi, Jose Barrios come to mind, Otani come to mind, like I said earlier today. So I'll keep it brief. Milwaukee run line -1.5, or sorry, yes, -1.5, -110, I should say. That's what I have on this game. Ragu, what do you have here?
Yeah, I guess based on what you said, with the last meeting with these two, I mean, if you look at that number, that's a short number, 7 for the total. I think it's juiced to the over just a little bit, but I tend to agree. I know Keller has had his ups and downs, especially at home. A decent outing going the last time out, and I was a little concerned with the Brewers bats. Brewers was one of my top teams for an over total. Going into the year, I like their staff, bullpen, starters. I think tops in the league. But the bats, a lot of these teams, you're going to see the same scenario early on in the season, and they'll adjust those things out. That's why I say normally, like I get in full swing after a couple of 3-4 weeks. But what I tend to look at the home team in this spot here. On the first 5, the plus number. I kind of lean to the under too on the 3.5 first five. So I'm gonna take the Pirates in the first five at a plus a half a run at a negative number -110. It's not a strong play for me, but I do like. I think both pitchers will show up early, and you could be right; they could get touched, but I think I still lean with Helen Keller here, getting the half run in the first five, -110, and I'll play. I'll make that an official play, and I'll lean to the under 3.5.
Yeah, Helen here is looking sharp as always. I think it's going to be an interesting start for her today. I'm going to be watching with a close eye, in particular for this Milwaukee offense. I think I need to see a little something from this Milwaukee offense for me to believe in them as a playoff team again, a division winner. 90, or I should say 85 weighted runs created plus. That's good for 22nd in the league. And right now the Pirates are 25th at an 83. So I definitely would lean towards an under here traditionally with those numbers. And of course, we see how bad offense has been around baseball and all the balls. You should just all keep an eye on that. And a little breaking news. Brian Reynolds and Cole Tucker are both on the COVID list. That got put on my timeline about like 10, 15 minutes before the show started. So those two guys out for the Pirates. Be aware. I would say Brian Reynolds is the Pirates' only all-star. That will be a concern for them, but they are a bad team, so it will be interesting to see how they shuffle that around on the deck. Next game on the docket, Padres Reds, Joe Musgrove versus Revere San Martin. Now, No Joe has been pitching pretty well so far. 6 1/3, 4 hit, 2 earned runs off a home run, 1 walk, 7 Ks versus Cincinnati last time out. We're going to be seeing a lot of these rematches with the same pitchers going against the team again. So just make a note of it. I've been trying to keep an eye on it. I've realized that so far the pitchers have the advantage, but we'll see how long that lasts. San Martin on the other side, he struggled last time out at San Diego. 5 1/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, only off of 1 home run, 4 Ks and a walk. San Martin kind of been back and forth, at the Dodgers with his second start of the year, 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 Ks, no earned runs, no walks, a great start there. And that was bouncing back off of a crap start to start his year, with including 5 walks and 5 earned runs at Atlanta. First start at home for San Martin. I've honestly passed on this one here. -170 for the Padres money line and +141 for the Reds here, at a total at 8. Maybe I'd lean towards the under. Hope that San Martin can keep it together, but ultimately I think it's a Padres no bet situation, and I've got nothing here. Ragu, anything with you?
Yeah, that was one of my baseball wins. Was with the Reds in Vegas, and I moonwalked when I got that W because it paid off pretty decent. But I don't have any interest in this game. Basically, I know they're one for 11 in the last 12. I mean, they're a shit show right now too. They're going to have to figure some things out. San Martin, he's got about a 7.11 ERA, and I don't know, it's not a great spot for the Pods, even though they're definitely stronger than the two squads. But I don't want to have no part of laying the number there right now at the 160 level. Maybe the only look I would come on if I was to lean, I would definitely lean on the run line, maybe at a +100. That's the only look for me in this game.
I would agree with you there. That would be my only look. And let's give a quick shout out to the chat real fast. J.A. Shout out to my man, Sharon Pullman, Sam Colmer. Sharon Pullman, that's like I said, I was about to say Sam Pullman. Ricky Bobby in the chat. DJ Woodworker, Real Deal Prime, of course. Roger that, 215. Shout out to you, my man. Wine Time Sports. Jamal Martin with a good point here. Wind blowing straight out, 10 miles an hour. I'm leaning towards San Diego, team total over, but Padres haven't been hitting enough. Yeah, I would say that I would trust the Padres here. Hitting-wise against lefties, they're 8th, 117 weighted runs created plus. So I think that'll be a good spot, and a lot of people liking the Padres run line, Padres -1 for you guys. What's up, Billy Brisbane? Nice to see you, Mr. MDR and Jedi for life. Next game on the docket here, we've got the Seattle Mariners versus the Tampa Bay Rays. The seaman versus the aquatic animal. Traditionally not a good matchup for the Tampa Bay Rays, I would say. I've got Logan Gilbert versus Matt Whistler on the bump here, Ragu. And this is another one of my plays here. I took the full game under 7 here at -105. But basically, I'm thinking that Logan Gilbert has a great start again here, and the Tampa Bay Rays just coming off an off day, full bullpen on a bullpen day. I trust in those guys and those arms back there, so I took this full game under 7. Worry is here that the money has been coming in fast on the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah.
Earlier today, it was like a minus 105 for the Mariners, plus 105, now up to plus 110. It seems like Logan Gilbert might be getting touched up today, and that's my concern. I hope that it's a situation like we had yesterday with the Guardians and the Angels. Money was coming in on the Angels hard and fast. The Angels ended up getting the win, but it wasn't because Shane Bieber blew up. It was because Shane Bieber gave up 2 home runs to the same guy, and they got a 3-0 win. So I'm hoping for the same kind of result here. I took the full game under 7, thinking that both of these arms can dominate here, and the Rays bounty of arms can do their thing as well here, Ragu. You know this Rays squad really well. How do you feel about them today?
I had a lot of concerns early on for the Rays. I knew things would get adjusted out for them, with the injuries for the rotation. They're running basically a 4-starter scheme. But Fleming, I guess initially was going to get the start, but I think Whistler is a better pickup for them in this particular spot. They're getting a look again, with that Seattle arm. Fleming's been money. I mean, the Seattle pitcher's been money here. He's like 16 Ks. He gave up 11 hits, not 11 hits, 6 2/3 innings. That's Fleming's number, who's not starting today. Let me get back on track here. So let's see, Mariners.
No, I got you. Logan Gilbert time out,
Gilbert.
6 2/3,
16
hits, 4 Ks,
right. That's
no earned runs, no walks
right.
at Texas. A great start, and Texas is one of those lineups that are scary, and I like Logan Gilbert.
He's got a 0.54 ERA. I think you're on the right look here. My look was actually on the Mariners 1.5 against Fleming, but that has changed. So I'm leaning towards the first 5 under with the pitching matchup here.
Yeah, I think that normally you'd have to pick your spots with the under on a Rays bullpen day, but I just like they're coming off an off day. Everyone should be available.
Yeah, the rest is going to help them for sure.
Exactly. So I think that they'll have their arms, and I think that game will go under. By the way, Man Bear Pig adding San Diego Padres run line for him as well. A lot of love for the Padres here. Might be adding that before the show's over. Who knows? Next game on the docket. I love this pace that we're going at. Colorado Rockies versus the Philadelphia Phillies. A rematch of this series from the other day. German Marquez last time out versus these Phillies at home. He went 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs off of 3 home runs. 2 walks, 5 Ks, like I said in the past. When you've given up 3 home runs in an outing, and that seems to be most of your runs, that makes me feel a little better about your outing. Maybe just a misplaced baller here that the other team just takes advantage of. Zach Eflin on the other side, 5 2/3, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 Ks, no walks. A big pass game for me, honestly. This series has tied me in knots. The other day that I tried to bet it when it was in Colorado, I couldn't do it. Right now, the Rockies are at plus 141, minus 170 with the total at 8. Yeah, total stay off game for me. Zach Eflin, just not one of those guys I want to back here, and I need to keep seeing him pitch well if I want to back him. But last 2 times, he's given up 4 earned runs away. Maybe he'll pitch better at home. We'll see here. And German Marquez, his first start on the road, is traditionally not something I want to back anymore. I don't want to back any Colorado pitchers making his first start on the road here. So, stay off game for me entirely. Ragu?
Yeah, I think Colorado is one of the surprise teams, and we all know they do have their struggles on the roads, but it's not so much a concern for the even to try to back them at a decent price, on the money line with Colorado playing pretty decent overall, but I don't want to get involved with the Phillies more so because I think their bullpen is like one of the worst in the league right now. So I mean, if we don't get if we get to the bullpen like early, then you're probably looking at a decent over situation for both teams. I think there will be some runs scored here, maybe a first 5. But my first look was to lean with the Rocks, on the road. But like you said, Eflin and the Phillies bullpen, I think there's going to be some runs scored here. So I would lean towards the over, and also I would lean towards the Rockies on the money line just for the fact that because of the bullpen that the Phillies have the struggles right now. So I would lean money line and over on the Rockies.
I'll tell you, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and it seems like the Phillies have been one of the more profitable teams just to continue to fade. It might be just that based off the name value of their bats, just that keeps inflating their lines, and the fact that they're just not a good defensive team, and their pitching seems like they just have to be pinpoint perfect to get outs. And it seems like they're always a good fade, and I like that bet. And I wouldn't hate the Rockies here at a plus 140. It's just Herman Marquez scares me. First start on the road. I bet on Senzatella when it was his first start on the road. I didn't really bet on him. I was betting on the under, and he blew up. And it's just one of those things. So I would definitely take Rockies or pass here, and it's going to be a pass for me. But I definitely like your look there, Ragu.
Yeah, it's a pass also, but it's just a lean, like I said.
Yeah, I agree with you. Next game is a game that you will want to talk about, I'm sure. We did not plan our outfits today, by the way, people. We did not plan our outfits. Baltimore Orioles versus the New York Yankees. Jordan Lyles versus Luis Severino, a pitcher I did not think he was going to be as good as he has been this year. I was not really pleasantly, I'm just surprised at his performances so far. Last time out at Detroit, 5 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Versus the Blue Jays, 5 innings, 2 hits, 6 Ks, 2 walks, no earned runs. And versus the Red Sox, the only team he kind of struggled against, 3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs off a home run, 5 Ks, no walks. He's been impressive. He's just really been impressive this whole year. It seems like he will only go 5, maybe 6 innings max. And why would you need him to go that far? Because you're going to turn it over to the best bullpen in baseball. That the bullpen's been lights out when you've got pitchers like Michael King coming out of nowhere and being Andrew Miller 2.0. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough proposition. It's just the Yankees offense stinks, and they are horrid. So I will not be betting this game. Jordan Lyles, not a great pitcher. Minus 280, plus 225, not for me here, especially in New York. Not a great spot for me, by the way. Shout out to Justin Bilbo, first time watching the show. Shout out to you, my man. Appreciate you watching. Stick around. Maybe you'll get some bets in here. Ragu, what do you have here on your Yanks?
I have, I got you think I would say automatic Yanks, but I'm not a big guy to lay the big numbers. And I usually try to look, when I see those big numbers, my first instinct is to try to look at some kind of run line value or maybe a team total, and then or plus money. I'm not afraid to go against the Yanks. And one team I'm not afraid to go against the Yanks with is these friggin' O's right here. And the O's, believe it or not, are one of the best teams in the league right now. With taking the run line on the plus side, you'd be profitable. They're like 10-6 on the run line, and we're getting a strong number here. We're getting a plus 110 at 1.5. And you did touch about Jordan Lyles. He at one time, last year he's coming back. He was a leading pitcher in the league in both earned runs and home runs allowed while he was Texas. But he's not Texas. He's in Baltimore now. So we'll see what he does here. And Severino, the same thing. Severino, when he's healthy, he's one of the top guys in the league. His issue is his health, and he's been good this year. It could be a solid look for him, to get to the bullpen. But I'm going to take a gamble here. I'm going to take the Orioles and stay with that trend that they've been on, 10-6 with the plus 1.5, and I'm getting them at a plus price. Give me the O's plus 1.5 at plus 110.
I like that look, Ragu. I like that look a lot. I wrote that down, and I might be joining you by the end of the show. I like that look. I don't hate betting against the Yankees. So I think it's a good shout there. Good shout there. Next game on our docket, the Miami Marlins versus the Washington Nationals here. And I've got another play here. I'm sounding like Noli knows. I took the full game under 7.5, minus 125. Josiah Gray, shockingly good. Shockingly good, Josiah Gray is 2-1 so far in this year, 3.14 ERA versus the Arizona Diamondbacks, 5 1/3, 3 hits, an earned run off a home run, 8 Ks, 2 walks. He was the piece in the Max Scherzer trade. Shout out to Max Scherzer and the Dodgers there. That was the trade that happened there and got Josiah over here. 5 1/3, or should I say 5 innings pitched, only 1 hit allowed, 5 Ks, 3 walks against the defending champion Atlanta Braves, no earned runs. Sandy Alcantara on the other side, obviously he's been a great pitcher thus far. Normally I would only bet on him at home, but I'm putting some faith here that he can dominate a rather good, or I should say rather poor Nationals offense. 84 weighted runs created plus against righties. That's 23rd in the league. And I'm putting a little faith in Josiah Gray to have another good outing here against a good Marlins offense, seventh, 119 weighted runs created plus. So I took the full game under here, 7.5, and we'll see how that goes. And big shout out to my man Kyle Hintley with a $10 dono. He's going San Diego, Los Angeles Dodgers there. Kyle Hintley making big boy bets. Shout out to you, my man. And he's just racking up the banners for Say Hey Play. So shout out to you, my guy. Ragu, what do you got here?
We know that Alcantara gives the Marlins always their best chance to win. And this is a team that, when we were in San Antonio, I kind of leaned. I didn't lean. I got to the window with the futures bet on the overs. And so far, they're holding up their end. They started off real rough, and they kind of got their thing. They just had a nice series with Atlanta. This is a pesky team in that league. They're sitting in second place right now, and I think they got a good shot to stay where they're at, long term, if they stay healthy with the arms. So I think I got a better team here, right? I got a better pitcher I got a better offense, better pitcher, better team all the way around. I like the Marlins on the run line here, plus the 130.
Okay. Okay, is the full game money line minus 130 just a little too juicy for you?
Yeah, I like the run line. I think, like I said, I know that the Nats have trouble scoring runs. Marlins got better bats, better pitcher. It's a game that makes perfect sense for me to get there with the run line.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. You're completely right about their bullpen being better, offense better, and then starting pitching today, you got the advantage. So I don't hate that at all. Everyone in the chat, by the way, liking that as well. Chiefs officially no run in the first inning in this game. Jedi for life on the under in Miami, Washington, and he's also taking Miami money line. And Bananas and Grapes saying Jose likes the Marlins as well. Shout out to Dabby Cab who's watching the show. Appreciate you, my man.
Cabby.
Yeah, I think it's an underspot here. I guess I think it's an underspot here, and Jedi for Life has got Miami money line at minus 125. So an underspot here, Miami, hoping Josiah Gray can keep his shit together. That's the risk here. Betting on Josiah Gray to show me something. So we will see here about Josiah. Next game on the docket is a game that's been taking money like a motherfucker, and on the opposite side of where I'm on. Well, I'm not even on the game yet. Where I want to be on. Red Sox at the Blue Jays. Blue Jays are up to minus 200 now. Oh, my goodness. They have been pumping this number up. Nick Pivetta and the Red Sox are at plus 165 here. And I took the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 120. And I think I'm going to have to be convinced that I've taken the Red Sox here. I know, obviously, the money is pretty scary. I know you're surprised to hear that.
That's a shock. Pivetta, my man, Pivetta.
So here's the thing. I know Nick Pivetta has been shitty this year, but he's just not good at home. He's not good at pitching at Fenway Park. And his last 2 starts, obviously, at Fenway, he's been plagued with the long ball. Versus these Blue Jays, 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 runs off a home run, 4 walks, 4 Ks. Terrible control. Not going to get you anywhere against these Blue Jays squad. Versus Minnesota, 2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 runs off a home run, 2 Ks, 2 walks. I just think, and his best start of the year, obviously, was his first start against the Yankees at the Yankees. He gave up 4 runs off of 2 home runs, but that's Yankee Stadium, that little bandbox here. I think Nick Pivetta might have his best start of the year so far. Obviously, that might not be saying much, but I think he might have the best start of his career, of his season so far. I took Kevin Gausman also as well in this under because I believe in him. He's been looking great, fantastic so far. Just carved up the Red Sox like it was a nice Thanksgiving turkey. So I took the full game under here, and I want to take the Red Sox, but that line movement and all that money just coming in is just scary, and it makes me feel like this might be a Blue Jays blowout spot here. So I took the under for first 5 under, and I hope for the best there. Ragu, what do you have here?
So you're telling me that the under is sitting? What's the total sitting at right now? 8. It kind of moved off 8. Moved off 8.5. I think when I last looked, I think it was sitting at 8.5 and slid down to 8. When it opened at 8.5 and slid down to 8, I think it was kind of juiced.
And I'll tell you, it's at 7.5 now on Bovada, minus 110 each way. It's the Red Sox offense. The Red Sox offense has been putrid. It's been so bad.
So that's if they're going to get like maybe 3-4 runs, they're talking about 5-3. I don't think it's going to be a one-run game. That's my point. So I'm not going to pay the juice on the Jays. That's fucking insane. Even though Gausman's numbers, he's like a 2.89 ERA with a .70 FIP. So that tells you the fielding, you know, those that are following the FIP numbers, you know, he may have been a little bit unlucky, you know, even with that ERA. So that suggests he's better than that, obviously, right? So, and that bodes well to the under too, you know, to your liking. So, but I'm going to approach it a different way. I'm just going to run. I'm going to run with the hot team, the big bats. You know, the bad numbers against Pivetta, even though he struggles at home, like you said. It just makes sense to take the Rays, the Jays on the run line here. That's the only look for me. And then if you think there's going to be a low-scoring game, you know, with the shit offense that the Sox have put together, it makes sense both ways. It makes sense for the under, and it makes sense to take the Jays on the run line.
Yeah, and I won by the skin of my ass yesterday. I had the full game under 8.5. It ended at an 8 because Bo Bichette decided to hit that grand slam. But I think these offenses really have not been that great so far. You know, you can say what you will about the Jays offense so far. But, you know, in Minute Maid, they hit a couple dinky home runs to the Crawford boxes. Yesterday, it was 2-2 throughout the whole game, basically. And the Red Sox bullpen shits all over itself with a AAA reliever and Philip Valdez, who hit 3 guys in an inning or whatever it was. So I definitely would lean towards the under here as well. Of course, it's been juiced so far, and if you're taking it now, you're kind of getting the ass end of the line. But the first 5 under here is my look, and I'm going to think that the Canadian boy Nick Pivetta has the best start of his season here. Hopefully gets a dub. We'll see if I make the Red Sox full game money line official, because that would be the least surprising play of the year for me. Next game on the docket, the Kansas City Royals versus the Chicago White Sox. Another play of mine, and I'm taking a dip in the scary waters here, Ragu. I'm back in Dallas Keuchel, and I took the Chicago White Sox first 5 -0.5 at -105. And I think it's more of a fate of Daniel Lynch being a lefty against this White Sox offense. They are putrid against righties, so bad against righties that it seems pretty obvious to every team just to throw your righties. And, you know, if you got a lefty in rotation, maybe it's time to skip them in the rotation for this series. Or, you know, the Royals want to take that chance with Daniel Lynch. The other team who smashes lefties are the Cardinals, and Daniel Lynch started his season against them. 5 innings pitched, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 home runs, 7 Ks, 1 walk for Lynch. And he didn't do awful, you know. He had 1 inning. His first inning, he gave up 3 home runs. And then I believe it was his 4th inning, he gave up 3 earned runs. So he didn't have an awful start there. Just so you know, 2 bad innings amongst a bunch of shutouts. And then last time out for Lynch, he went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 Ks, 1 walk, no earned runs versus Minnesota. And I just believe in the White Sox offense against lefties. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. 152 weighted runs created plus. They've been so bad against righties that I think lefties, seeing a lefty will be like manna from heaven for them. They get some water in the hot Sahara Desert, and they snap out of this shitty start that they've been going through with a lefty here. So I took the first 5 -0.5, -105 here, and definitely notice how I didn't take the full game, because I don't know what this White Sox team is going to do because of how bad they've been, but I do trust their offense. And if it does become an offensive shootout, because Dallas Keuchel sucks, I'm going to bet on the White Sox offense being better than the Royals offense and being better than the performance they showed last time out with Keuchel, getting a bunch of errors, too, from Tim Anderson in that start. So I'm taking the White Sox here, taking a dip with Dallas Keuchel. Ragu, what do you have here?
I think I'm on the same wavelength as you with the Sox and smashing those lefties, man. But, man, that Keuchel, he worries me a little bit. Wouldn't you say it would be a safer bet to get on the team total over with the Sox versus backing them the first 5?
I would probably agree with you here, but is it the team total over 4.5? I assume. You know.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I would rather have the 3.5. That's been my line with the team totals. I've been cashing with 3.5s. Haven't had as much success with 4.5s, and I've had a couple 4s that have pushed. But like I said, I'm just taking the risk here. You know, I want to.
It's a bigger number. I understand.
I
agree with you. I don't like getting up to those 5s because they get pretty tricky
Yeah,
overall. You know what I mean? When you
I
get a
agree.
5-4 game, you can push basically, but to get over that 4.5 hump, it can get a little it can get a little cagey at times. But this game looks like a bullpen game. I love the over here. I didn't get to the window with it yet. I've been on the fence with it, and I kind of wanted to see how you broke it down, and you kind of pushed me that way for the full game over actually, because I think if Keuchel does Keuchel, and then it's going to, the Royals they can hit some balls, they can get to him, and I can see this game getting over 9 with ease. But at the same time, I trusted White Sox bats more, so it was more of a lean for me in the very beginning. So right now I'm on the fence with it, but I kind of lean to the over, full game over 9.
Brian Cardinal on the Royals money line. Sox have lost 7 straight. And by the way, now Nigel Lee here saying betting the White Sox at this point, how they've been playing. Good luck. This team is in shambles. It has been. It's been shocking to see.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know how they're going to recover. I don't know what their ability to recover is. And I definitely think that this next, week and a half or so is some show me spots for the White Sox here, because I don't trust Tony La Russa in this day and age to stabilize a clubhouse and get everyone pulling the same way right now. So we'll see. I'm maybe excited to watch it here. It's going to be a fun game to see here. A lot of people liking the Royals as well. Next game on the docket here as we move through these games at a lovely brisk pace here. Chicago Cubs versus the defending champion Atlanta Braves. Marcus Stroman versus Max Fried. On paper, it's a pretty solid pitching matchup, but Marcus Stroman has been shaky this year. I think he's better than his numbers indicate, but he has not been great. 4 1/3, 8 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned off of 1 home run versus the Tampa Bay Rays, 7 Ks, 2 walks. Not great there, not great at all. I bet on him his start in Colorado. Another not good start, 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs off a home run, 4 walks, 4 Ks, 1 walk. And that was just a case of having, cruising, and then having your blow up inning there in Chicago, or in Colorado, I should say. Max Fried on the other side, dominant last time out. Thank you, Max Fried, for pulling the weight that Walker Buehler did not when I bet the first 5 under 3.5, I believe it was. He went 7, 2 hits, 8 Ks, no earned runs versus the Dodgers. A team that's seen him a lot at Dodger Stadium, which is a really impressive start after 2 pretty, rickety starts for Fried. 5 1/3, 7 hits, 3 runs versus the Nationals, and then obviously the 5 2/3, 5 earned run spot versus the Reds, a Reds team that we know as being a dumpster fire now. Honestly, I couldn't think of any, or I should say, I didn't want any angles on this game. Cubs plus 140 was a little enticing, because I think that Marcus Stroman's a good pitcher, and I think he can bounce back here. And Max Fried, we don't know what we're going to get here. I think that the line is a little bit too high on the Cubs side, and I would lean towards an over as well, but I don't want to bet overs this year. And ultimately, I don't trust the Cubs offense enough at the end of the day. So ultimately, I stayed off this game, Ragu. What about you?
Yeah, I'm off the game also, but I tend to agree. I think Fried has been rocky. The Braves' offense has been a little bit rocky. They're seems like they're moving in slow motion on the offensive side. Um, and then Stroman, this is a spot for him, I think, to kind of right the ship for him. Is a good opportunity against a struggling Braves offense, and they went out and got him for this reason. So he's yet to get the W. I think I would have to lean. I definitely lean on the under the 8. That's a lean, and I would probably lean with the Cubs in the first 5 here. Maybe on a plus money side. Money line Cubs first 5, and lean under total 8.
Yeah, I lean the Cubs too. And if anything, you can probably get a pretty decent plus a half here. Yeah, you can get Cubs first 5 plus a half at even money. You can hope that both pitchers go out there and get a 0-0 under your belt. I've lost first 5s, 0-0s by that margin.
Oh yeah, happens all the time. First 5s are like the bottom. It's like getting to the bullpen to me. When I take first 5s, it always seems to come in that 5th inning. You know what I mean? It's always a run, or it's an error or a fucking walk that comes back and gets you.
Yeah, it always seems to be like that first time around through the order, the starting pitcher goes through pretty cleanly, and then second time through, fourth, fifth inning, it starts to get pretty dicey. It's made the fifth inning my least favorite inning, Ragu.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, fifth inning is my least favorite inning in the baseball game now.
Well, I have, being in Florida, it's tough to it's not tough, but we don't have the legal sports books here, obviously. So we got the offshores and we got the locals and that stuff. But when I was out in Vegas, I guess at the Orleans, I think they're tied in. I don't know if it was DraftKings or one of the ex fantasy guys out there. They don't advertise it, but they're tied in with the back. It's Boyd Properties, but I noticed like you can bet the first three, the first fives, the sevens. I mean, there's so many options now you can go after. And a game like this would be a perfect opportunity to hit something like that up. I think we do see both pitchers get on a better track here against a struggling offense for the Braves. So that's the look I would be on. I'd be on the under the full game and the first five with the Cubbies.
I agree with you. I would definitely look towards a first three under. Peter Loshak mentioned, I forgot what game it was, but it was a first three under 2.5. It was kind of juicy at -145.
This has that look. This game right here.
Yeah. He had that at -145. I bet you if you got like a 1.5, you can get less juice and it'd just be a better number. I like that look here. I don't have that on my books either. Shout out to Texas, but that is definitely a look first three under there for you guys. Next game on the docket, an interesting game for a lot of people, a tough one. Minnesota Twins versus the Detroit Tigers. Eduardo Rodriguez, Chris Paddock, two pitchers that I do not like at all, honestly. Two pitchers that I wanted to fade throughout the year. Eduardo Rodriguez versus the Yankees last time out. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 earned runs off of 1 home run, 5 Ks, and 1 walk. And versus the Red Sox the last time before that, when we faded him, 5 hits, 7 runs, only 2 of them earned, 3 walks, 5 Ks. Chris Paddock has been looking pretty good so far. I thought he was going to be a fade this year. I faded him versus the Dodgers, and that ended up working in his first start out. 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, no walks. But last time against the Kansas City Royals at Kansas City has a good start. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks, no walks. And the most important thing for Chris Paddock, like Moose Money was saying earlier today, is that location for his fastball. He's been commanding pretty well. No walks throughout the year so far. That's successful for Chris Paddock. So we'll see how this goes. This game is a complete stay-off game for me, honestly. We've got 2 pretty subpar offenses against righties. Detroit's 80 is hitting, weighted runs created plus is 85 at the 21st best in the league. And for the Twins, they are 98 weighted runs created plus versus lefties, 16th in the league. So total stay-off game for me here will be an interesting game to see how both these pitchers pitch. And going forward, will determine if I want to continue fading them or not. Regrew, what about you here?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the ERAs and you look at that low total, it didn't make sense to me. But then when you start looking into it, you can look into the to the breakdowns of the performances. But I think at the same time, one of these pitchers is going to get touched up in the spot here. And even though they've kind of had decent outings with higher ERAs, I think the FIP numbers are maybe a little bit skewed here, but I like that. If it's sitting at 7, I'll take the plus money on the over. It's not a game I'm excited about, but if I get a 7 with plus money, I'm on it. I'll take the over.
Yeah, and money's coming in on the Twins too. People keep betting the Twins. Twins are -150 now, so and Tigers are at +126. So,
what's the number on the total?
On Bovada, it's still a 7, but the 7 is juiced to a -120.
Yeah, no, I'll be off of it.
Yeah,
no play for me.
Tough game to bet there.
Yeah.
This next game is an interesting game, a game that I am on the under here as well. New York Metropolitans versus the St. Louis Cardinals. Jordan Hicks versus Chris Bassett, 2 bet-on pitchers I like this year. Jordan Hicks, the starter experience has been going pretty well so far. He started only 1 game, 3 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 3 Ks. His other 2 appearances this year were out of the bullpen, but both 2 innings as well. 1 and no hits, respectively, both dominant appearances for Jordan. And I like him here today, but this is another spot where the money just keeps pouring in, just pouring in. Earlier this morning is -110. Now it's, or I should say -110 each side. Now it's -125 for the New York Mets with Chris Bassett on the mound. Obviously, the Mets are the best hitting team against righties right now, 134 weighted runs created plus. So I think it'll be an interesting matchup. But I think I'm going to just stick with my under here. I'm not going to take the Mets. I'm not going to do anything else. And I'm going to see how these two teams go. Obviously, I got killed last night. I took the under 6.5, and they score 5 runs in the ninth inning. I'm going to hope that doesn't happen again. I'm going to sack up and take it again. Here we go.
Yeah, well, I heard conversation with you earlier. There's always a team that fucking gets you every time you bet them, whether you bet with them or against them. And it's not the Mets; it's the other team, the Cards. And there's no hotter team in baseball than the Mets, which I tend to agree. They can't do no wrong. They come from behind. They got solid pitching. They're playing phenomenal baseball, and that's a team that I love to hate because of my family and friends that I have being from New York and everything. But I got to give the Mets a lot of credit. They're fucking playing fantastic baseball, and the Cardinals they're kind of they're surprising too. I had them. I didn't have a team total for the future on them, but they're holding their own. They're decent squads. They got the old timers coming back. They're getting solid support all the way around on the diamond, and I think this is going to be a fade team later on in the season for me. The Cardinals, even though I won't get to the window with them, they'll be a fade type team if you want to go up against them. But I don't want to chase the number up the ladder with the 125. I had the Mets early on. I didn't get the window with them early. I had them at 115, but now I'm going to be off them at 125.
Yeah, it seems like the Mets are just going to be a bet on team throughout the year. A lot of teams.
And the snake bit in St. Louis, so that's the other reason I'm off too.
No, I don't blame you at all.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the Cubs, honestly. And I'll say this: the Yankees and the Mets have both taken two basically the exact opposite approaches on pitching here. Mets had the best starting rotation in baseball, lowest rotation ERA. They all go 6, 7 innings, and they limit the innings that the Mets bullpen not the best. It's getting better, obviously. They've bought some good relievers to go in there, but it's not a strong suit for them, and they just kind of limit those innings by using the good long starting pitching here. And the Yankees do the exact opposite. They try to go 4 innings with your starting pitchers, get them out as soon as possible, and give it over to the bullpen who dominates. So I think that it's a very interesting approach to team building with both of those teams in New York. And I like the Mets team obviously a little better here, mostly because their offense has been just fantastic.
Yeah.
So I would lean towards the Mets as well. The money tells a story there. But don't count out the Redbirds. Don't count out the Redbirds here. So I'm going to take that under here. I took it minus 110. And we're going to keep riding right along here.
And they playing a lot of – usually the Cards playing a lot of lower scoring, tight games.
Mm-hmm.
That's their MO. They get in these
That's what I felt.
It's a lower number. They get in a lot of 3-2, 2-1 type scenarios during the course of the year. So that's probably the right look on this one too.
I haven't looked at all my plays in totality to see what I've been betting, what I've been succeeding on recently. But I can tell you that it feels like I've been betting under in every Cardinals game. When they were in Miami, I was taking all their unders there. Yeah. I took the under yesterday. So it just seems like the Cardinals are just an under squad. And with the baseballs being the way that they are, that's just what it is right now. And the numbers are just getting smaller and smaller. So books will eventually catch up, and we'll see how we can adjust from there. Next game is the Blackout Bowl here, the Battle of Texas Astros versus Rangers. Jake Odorizzi versus Taylor Hearn. And our guy, Matty Ice, the taint play of the day was the first 5 under 5 here. That was when the number was at 9.5. I think it was at 10 at 1.2. Now it's at 9. Number is dropping. They don't believe, or I should say the betting public doesn't believe in either one of these offenses. Right now, the Rockies, or I should say the Astros, are 21st, 86 and against righties. That's 86 runs created plus. And the Texas Rangers, of course, against the Astros against lefties and the Rangers against righties. 28th, 71 weighted runs created plus there. So they're just betting on both these offenses to kind of struggle along again. And I don't hate that bet. I didn't bet on the team play of the day today, under 5. I probably should have. If you guys did, then I commend you guys. It's probably, I'll double check, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's at a 4 now for the first 5 total. And that's the only way I would look at this game. I don't love Jake Odorizzi. I don't love Taylor Hearn, but the offenses are that bad, so they can make these guys look good. And by the way, the first 5 total on Bovada is still 5 at a minus 120. So that's an interesting number there. That's something I might have to pick up the pen on right there.
Yeah, I mean, the taint plays usually fire. We don't hit them all, but we hit them often.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're looking at this game, like you said, on the surface, right away you're looking at, these pitchers that you would say, okay, this has got a look of an over first look. But when you start peeling it back, and I've been on Houston early on. They accounted for 3 of my losses this year because of the lack of offensive production. So I'm not going to get behind any Houston squad, especially when you got Odorizzi on the mound.
Yeah.
Where's the offense going to come from? Even though, but then we know about the Rangers bullpen. They're a lower level bullpen in the league too. Now they can get hot and hit the ball, and they did get hot for a little bit also. So it would have to be Rangers or pass for me. I'm not gonna. But it's a short number either way you look at it for either squad. So I don't trust either team in this scenario. So it's a dead pass. Probably the right plays to taint at the 5 for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm not afraid of that minus 120 juice.
Yeah, that's
I,
nothing.
I would take it right there, and I don't hate that at all. I'm not going to make that official, but I
It
will
stood,
shout
it
out my.
stood there though because probably the juice was lower, and
Oh yeah.
like it's like
Oh
me with the Mets. I said I didn't want to climb up the ladder with the Mets at the 125 and 115, but on the first 5, I would I'd probably swing full game. I would get away from even though the Mets are the better squad all the way around on that game, but this one here is probably a better look for that play would be the full 5, first 5 minus the 120 under.
Jedi for Life, by the way, says the Cards are pissed. They come out swinging. Chris Bassett over 6 averages 6 Ks. Chris Bassett over 5.5 Ks. One plus 125 at MyBookie, minus 105 at DraftKings. Shout out to you, Jedi for Life. Thank you for putting that in the chat. Next game on this docket is a tricky one here, Ragu. And I wanted to ask you about this one. Honestly, I'm looking towards the first 5 under here in Cleveland versus the LA Angels here. Tristan McKenzie is a guy that I want to back this year. I like him as a good pitcher. He's had a couple. I think he had a 1 relief appearance this year now, and he's had 2 starts, 4 1/3, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 4 Ks versus the White Sox. He's a righty, so of course he dominated the White Sox. And then at Cincinnati, 4 hits, 3 Ks, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 6 Ks, no earned runs at Cincinnati too. So 2 pretty good starts there for McKenzie. Patrick Sandoval on the other side here, 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run not earned at the Astros, which is a very impressive start. Maybe not as impressive as it used to be when the Astros were a juggernaut, so you'll have to think about that too. And then versus Miami, another 1 run, not even earned in performance, 6 Ks, 3 walks. Angels right now 6th, or should I say actually 4th against right-handed pitching, 131 weighted runs created plus, and the Guardians are slowly coming back down to life. They are 15th right now, 101 against lefties. And I want to take the under here, Ragu, honestly. I want to take that first 5 under here to see what these pitchers can do here, but I have not pulled the trigger here yet. Are you on anything in this game?
If I'm not on anything, but the first 5 is definitely a look because I don't see either one of these pitchers jumping out past 5 innings. I mean, they've been averaging like right around 4 innings, I want to say, if you go back and look at the numbers. And Cleveland, they're reeling back, coming out of that Yankee scenario. They got swept by the Yanks, and the Angels, they've got star power. They can light it up, but I just don't see coming out. I think both pitchers are going to present a little bit of problems for the opposition early on, and I think first 5 would be the look. I would look to this game maybe to get a good number once they get to the bullpens on the over. So this is a game I'm going to be interested in, but it's not going to be first 5. First 5 is a look, like you say, what you're getting involved with. But if I'm going to bet the game, I'm going to probably look to get into bullpen action on some overs. Because I definitely like I lean towards the under, but I lean full game over, and if that makes any sense to you, I think
It does make a whole lot of sense. I would agree with you there that the issue with the first 5 under here, it's a 4 minus 130. So I'm not going to take that. I'd rather pass and then make other bets on this card. It's going to be a fun game, though. Very interesting game to watch here when the Guardians go out west. And by the way, our man Top Set likes them at plus 125. He got them at. So I like that. And JPZ shouting out me for being a Noli protege. Yeah, you got to take unders right now in baseball, it seems.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure Noli's raking in the dough right now. This is his manna. This is his heaven. I cannot do it with these baseballs right now. Shout out to DX Filer who just joining the show. Appreciate you, my man, for watching. Hit that like button, by the way. Everyone helps us out, gets us in the algorithm, all that good stuff here. Next game out, we've got only 2 games left on the docket. Dodgers versus the Diamondbacks. Tony Gonsolin versus Zach Davies. And this is another one. Money's been coming in on the Dodgers. And that's, not really surprising, but they've just been shooting up. And it seems like the people are anticipating that Zach Davies is going to get crushed here. This number also jumped up. I mentioned on Jimmy the Bag show that I don't know if there was any double-digit numbers out there today, and this was one of the numbers that was at 9.5, and it's popped up to 10. So I think that is going to be an interesting game. I would probably honestly lean towards Dodgers run line because, as we all know, one of the low-key stories of the betting baseball season so far has been the Dodgers covering the run line every single time they win. So ultimately, that would be my only lean here. I don't have any plays on this. Zach Davies is a scary pitcher to bet on. He's been, passed around a couple of times now, so nothing for me here. Ragu, what about you?
Yeah, it's got to be Dodgers run line or pass. And I touted it like the other time I was on with Jimmy. I says, if you bet the Dodgers every game, 106 wins last year, you still lost money. That's disheartening. I mean, you got to pick your spots, obviously, but when you get in these series type bets too, you lose one game and you got to win them all to break even. So you got to tread lightly on the Dodgers. I know Noli. I'm going to ask Noli how he's been betting the Dodgers. Maybe some unders. You're not going to fuck with the Dodgers and unders because they'll smash you that way too. So you got to really watch out for landmines with the Dodgers, and this might be a good spot for them to blow that. Minus 130, I think it is on the 1.5. That's not too dangerous. Like I said, the other reason I don't usually bet run lines is when teams are playing at home. But with the new rule, we talked about that in San Antonio too. I think we get some outs with that too, and the live bet too. On I don't think you're going to see a tie game here though. I think it's Dodgers or pass on the run line.
Yeah, see, like I said, the line says, or all the movement is saying that the Dodgers are going to crush Zach Davies here, but caution. Danzo saying here, careful, it's a division game. Don't get too comfortable.
Right, that's the other thing too. Right, yeah. Division games are always tough, just like the Orioles and the Yanks earlier. Same scenario.
The Orioles always beat the Yankees for some reason, and I could see that. Top set betting the Dodgers when the line opened. I bet you he feels good about all that line movement going his way. And Ricky Bobby asking about Arizona team total under 3.5. Man, I think it's ballsy to take team total unders, man. I don't know what it is. It's been scary for me. I'd rather just take the full game first 5 unders here. But at the number, I should say the total has been going up and up and up. And like we said, it seems like it's just the Dodgers are gonna crush the Diamondbacks here by margin. On my book, Bovada minus 105. Or I should say the run line is minus 145. So I mean that's just crazy to see. So I'm completely off this game.
It's a small sample size with Goslin against the Dodgers. Against the D-backs. So like you say, they're coming back around. They'll see him again. So who knows what happens? Even though they probably crush him in the long term, fucking with that team total might bite you in the ass.
Yeah, it's just a careful game. There's other games to bet on this card, so ultimately it would stay off. This last game on the docket's a very interesting one for me. Dalton Jeffries and the Oakland A's versus the San Francisco Giants. And the Ace, the odds-on favorite right now, I believe, for the Cy Young and the NL, Carlos Rodon. We faded him not really to success last time. I said that I bet the first 5 under, or I bet the first 5 over in his last start, and thankfully Chris Bassett got us there all by himself. And I also bet under strikeouts for Carlos Rodon, and it was under 8, and he exactly ended at 8 for me. So I got lucky there on both those bets. Rodon is just not someone I'm fading anymore. I learned my lesson last time. He's the real deal until he gets hurt or until something happens to him. And that's why you're seeing such a crazy number. 6.5 is a crazy number to see here. Dalton Jeffries, 1-2, a 1.17 ERA so far, 6 innings against the Orioles, 3 hits, 1 run not earned. And then his most impressive start of this year, I guess, is at Toronto. The juggernaut we think they are, 4 1/3, 7 hits, only 2 earned runs off a home run. So Dalton Jeffries might be the truth here. The Giants offense right now, 9th against righties, but that might be tailing off. Who knows? We are. A lot of people are on the under their win total, but they are dominating so far, and they're playing Giants baseball. I'm staying off this game. I think the only play for me here would be the full game under here, but 6.5 is just scary sometimes. So, and I learned that the hard way with the Cardinals Mets yesterday. So, stay off game for me with Dalton Jeffries and Rodon on the mound here for you.
I got a hedge on this game. I'm going to get involved in this game. I think it's a good. I wouldn't say a great spot. I say it's a good spot for the A's with the rest, and then the travel with the Giants coming back. And I don't think Jeffries is that bad. We know Rodon's been lights out with the K's to walk ratios, and his strikeout numbers are pretty impressive right now. I think it presents a little value. That's a big number to get on the A's. You're talking first 5 money line at 240. I mean, shit, anything could happen there. And then, so what I did was, I'm on the plus the 240 with the A's, but I did take the over. So just in case they get their ass kicked, the Giants start hitting the ball pretty heavy, or they decide to light up a little bit. So maybe I can catch a little two-way action. So 6.5 is a short number in baseball, man. I mean, you're talking 3-3 going to extras. It's an automatic winner. So full game at the plus number 6.5, and I'm taking the money line, taking a swing at this one, guys. Plus 240 on the A's, first 5.
Plus 240. I mean, first 5, anything can happen. Like we said, it could be easily a 1-0, and you get a sac fly from the A's to get you that 1. So I definitely don't hate that first 5 look at all. Ragu, that was it. That was our last game right there.
That's it. We blew it up today, man. Steamrolled right through the card.
We did. That was a quick pace right there. I appreciate you for joining me. We've got first pitch in about 5-7-ish minutes.
That was the plan, to get everybody to the TV, to the betting windows before the first game kicked off.
Exactly. We timed this out perfectly. They call us professionals in this business, Rugu. They call us professionals. I'm going to recap my picks here for everyone, and I'll let you recap yours here.
Yep.
And we'll send the people home. I've got 6 plays so far, and I think I'm going to keep it that way. I think I'm not going to make any additions here today. It's a little weird for me not making any additions, but we're going to start off with the Miami versus the Nationals under 7.5 minus 125. White Sox first 5 minus a half at minus 105. New York Mets, St. Louis Cardinals under 7 at minus 110. The Milwaukee Brewers run line minus 110. I've also got the Seattle Tampa Bay Rays under 7 at minus 105, and the Red Sox Blue Jays first 5 under 4.5 at minus 120. A little juicy today for me, a little minus 125, minus 120 shots for me, but the unders are the plays that we just got to keep going to until they switch out the balls or do whatever in September, and we'll see what happens with all these humidors and such. There have been a lot of articles released today about the baseballs and all that stuff, so we will see how that goes. Ragu, what do you have official today for us?
I got a lot of run line action today. I just fucking noticed that. But
okay,
they all pay the same or a little bit different with the run lines, right? So I got the I got Pittsburgh on the plus half a run in the first 5 minus 110. I got Baltimore on the plus 1.5 at a plus 110. I got the Marlins on the run line at plus 130. I got the Jays on the run line at plus 115. I got the first 5 A's, the one we just talked about, at plus 240. And I got over 6.5 at plus 100. So I got a lot of plus numbers all over the place. The only one I got on a minus is the Pirates, the first 5 at plus half a run, though. So I got pluses all over the board, guys. Get them fucking plus numbers.
Yes, please do hit those plus numbers. I don't have my average line available to me, but I'm sure I'm at the plus money. And that's how you guys win at the end of the day with these season-long bets. You got to keep your VIG down. That's what my man Jimmy the Bag has taught me.
Keep it down, brother.
All right. Thank you guys, as always, for watching the show. It's been Say Hey Plays 20 here. Ragu, Say Hey Plays 20. Congratulations on being the 20th guest here, I should say. the 20th person on this thing. We're going to give a quick shout out to everyone in the chat. Puzzler, my man, DX Filer, appreciate you when you join. Maybe I like you a little less than everyone else, DX Filer, but I appreciate you, my man. Abel Alvarez, Jamal Martin, he's going Miami for first 5 run line there. I like that. Jamal Martin, like I said, Top Set, Real Deal Prime, Donzo in the chat, James S., Degen Woodworker, Ricky Bobby, all you guys, thank you. MDR24, Brian Cardona, Jay Peasy, all you guys. Abel A, thank you guys. Jerry Young, Brian Wilkins, appreciate it, my guys. I appreciate it. And by the way, good looking honky. Look at you, my man. Look at you. Peter North back in it again. Shout out to Peter North for watching the show. Appreciate all your work.
1-star. Nice guy.
Yeah. Hey. He's got to make his money too. I'm not gonna discredit his way of making money. He's an honest man making an honest living. Ragu, thank you so much for joining me. I hope to have you back on soon. We're gonna see you tomorrow, correct? On Betting with the Bag.
I'll be on with Jimmy the Bag tomorrow. Yes, sir.
Yes, that'll be fun. 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. For you guys, that is the start of Betting with the Bag. Come in, get all the games broken down with Jimmy the Bag. We will see you guys here tomorrow morning, 5:30 again Eastern, 4:30 Central. We don't do Central, or we don't do Western time here, Pacific time, because I don't like doing the math. Donnie Rightside back on the show tomorrow. Lovely guest, I should say. I can't wait.
Donnie's fire. Donnie's fire.
Donnie's a great guy. Remember, a Pub Sports Radio OG. You can't wait for that. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And until then, say hey, and we'll see you guys soon.